So these are the reason why your bench press is weak. When you're trying to perform bench press, always make sure to lock your scapula and keep your shoulders completely with the head. Anchor and pin in the bench, and then keep your feet completely anchor or pin to the floor and create that arch. So that helps you perform better bench press with locking your elbows in. As you go heavier, that might be a little bit tricky because you won't be able to lift the weight if you have a weak shoulders. So before trying to go to the next exercise to help your chest get strong, try to perform a few bench presses. Try challenge yourself. Make sure put the racks first and then perform the same technique for your bench. Lock your elbows, scapula, shoulders, and head anchors on the floor on the bench, and make sure your feet is completely locked in so that you can push more weight. As you go heavier, probably you realize that you start losing that contraction at the bottom. Now what do? Elevate the racks and then try add more weights. Try to just unload the weight that's heavy for you and you're not really strong enough to bench it. But you trying at this point shock your chest to say, hey, there you go, there is more weight to come. You won't be able to perform this weight. So you deload the weight and then drop the weight off and then try to perform the weight back, push the bar back up. So basically they call it loading, deloading. This helps you, your chest and your shoulders and your arm and triceps get stronger. And that helps more challenge. When you bottom of the floor and you can push the weight up, you feel that scary momentum. Again, try to go heavier and try to feel the weight. You don't need to unrack it. Just pretend you're trying to bench it. Just try to feel that power. Just squeeze it as you pretending you're trying to unrack it and put it back. Do not lift it heavy if you're not strong enough because you may run your shoulders. And then again, go back a little bit lighter than the amount of weight you try. And again, unrack and try to control it on way down. And this helps you shock your chest, but control it. Control the weight very slow, pretending bench, and then put it on rack. Again, try to take some plate off and push the weight back up. This is the way you're shocking your body for heavy lifting. And you don't need a spotter here because you have a rack and you have a spotters bar at the side that helps you put bar back up there. Okay? So you're pretending and you're performing a few exercises with the way I said. Unload, deload, and repeat the same thing until you feel about your arms getting numb. This is one of the ways you can increase your bench press. Again, control the weight and let it come down and make your body shock. With this method, I bet you will increase the strength faster than normal people. Again, make sure you have a lot of calories. If you're training this kind of workout, make sure you get 3,000 to 4,000 calories in your body because you will get hungry when you're pushing a lot of weight in this point. Now, you're a little bit less drop more weight down and you try to test yourself, see if you get stronger. So again, you get your form, technique for the bench, and you unload and then push the weight back. You see, I got about 10 pounds stronger. I couldn't even do this prior to this training. And now I dropped 10 pounds down and I tried with a little bit 10 pounds lighter, see how that feels. I was struggling before to do this. but I now feel like more easier because I deload a lot of heavy weight and my body get used to it. I passed that pain thresholds. I can't even go 2 of this now. It feels easier, but I'm tired, but I'm pushing myself through. Now the second thing you have to go, you go lighter and you feel, oh my God, what the hell? I'm getting stronger. You see, at this point, you can push the weight like a piece of cake because your bodies went through that pain threshold with uploading, deloading a lot of weight, and you feel more powerful. Like the weight, it feels easier as a hell. You can go more and more, but because the goal here to improve the strength, you don't want to improve with high reps. We're planning to keep it 3 to 4 reps. Next thing that you have to train on is your shoulders right after you bench. Because another thing that you have a weakness is your shoulders. The shoulder girds need to push. So try to use a pair of dumbbells that you control and put a lot of tension on your front delts. This helps you get very stronger for push. And try not lock the weight at the top. Get about half from your ear line to about 4 inches above your head. And that helps you to get a lot of power. But at this point, you're exhausted. So this is the thing you have to do right at bench. When you finish your bench, you right away start to do some shoulder press. Not heavy, weight that you can manage about 6 to 8 or 10 reps. Because bench has more connection with your shoulders, triceps, and forearms as well. If you have a weak shoulders, and trust me, you won't be strong for push bigger weight. So you need to improve your shoulders. Me and my buddy Andrew, we're trying to get more stronger as we benching with technique of push after push. So bench is push, also shoulders push. But we're not trying to go heavy, crazy weight. We're trying to utilize the weight that we can, put more blood to the shoulders. So this is the second things that cause you get stronger. So if you have a weak shoulders, trust me, you're not a good bench presser. And when you're performing shoulder press, keep your shoulders back, chest up, and anchor your toes on the floor. So you're contracting your shoulder blade and you get more blood flow to your shoulders. It's similar to the bench press, but it's much easier with this technique because you use the leg drives as well when you're pressing. And Andrew's going to do the same thing again. So don't forget about shoulder press right after the bench. At this point, your shoulders is very, very tired and sore. But trust me, next day, when you go and try to the bench, you feel much stronger. I usually perform about 5 sets of shoulder press right after the bench. So that helps me get more strength and power and pass the pain threshold. Because if you have weak shoulders, you won't be able to perform any proper bench as well. I know a lot of people say no bench is related to the chest, but I'm not agree with that, because when you push in the weight above your head, that's a lot of shoulders engagement as well. So make sure put a lot of tension on your shoulders. Make sure you're not neglecting your shoulders. It's pain will give you better results and better achievements. Perhaps I'm going to post more videos to improve the bench press. So that's a lot of problem that we have recently. A lot of people struggling with the bench because the bench is weak. So next thing you need to improve Your side delts. Your side delt need to be improved, but at this point you need to create a high incline bench and try to perform the same thing I do. This helps you posterior and side delts get a lot of blood flow. Make sure do not go heavy. Stick to the some weight that you can manage between 15 or 20 reps of side delts. Usually 8 pounds or 10 pounds or 15 pounds. You don't need to go crazy on the side delts because at this point, if you go heavy, you may tear your labrums. So choose a weight that you can manage. Trust me, this is the hardest one because at this point your body has no momentum and you basically put a lot of tension on your shoulders. Your delt is burning, you fire in your delts. You got a lot of blood flow there, especially after bench. So high reps, lightweight. Do not go heavy on delts because heavy causes injuries. And when you're performing, keep your shoulder back, chest up, and contract and keep the tension. Don't let the weight drops. Keep the contraction and tension on both sides, ascending and descending point of it, and have your breathing adjustments. If you don't breathe properly, you get short of breath. And try to use bench so you stop moving and swinging your body. We usually perform about 3 or 4 sets of side delts. It's very good because your side delt, if it's weak, you don't have a strong bench. You need a strong delt shoulders in order to push weight up. Now I'm trying to go a little bit lower. This is for posterior delts. So you kind of lower on the bench. So when you lower the bench, you can put more tension on your posterior delt. This is not the side, but this is posterior. So the way you have to push the weight, you have to fly like eagles. So you get more tension on your posterior delts. This is a very good exercise. Again, make sure and try not go heavy. 10 pounds or 15 pounds, the max what you can manage. If you go heavy, you basically use your back, not the delts. You don't want to engage your delts. With heavy, you can't get engaged, you just get engaged your lats, okay? So perform this exercise. Again, about 4 sets of side delts and then posterior delts. That helps you engage more rear delts. If you stop swinging, you feel it better. It's very painful. At this point, the bulls got so exhausted and there is no more blood left, no more shot, no blood flow in the shoulders, but it is what it is. No pain, no glories. It's a tough exercise, trust me. It sounds like it's easy, but oh my God, when you perform this kind of exercise, you might cry because this burn your shoulders. Posterior delt is getting fire. Now we perform in front delts. We keep the tension and contraction to the front delts. The front is very crucial again for your bench. If you have a weak front delts, your bench is weak. To try to perform this exercise, again, use a bench and keep it in a higher incline position and put the chest on and keep it steady with some plates on the both sides so you're not going to swing your body on it. You're basically engaging your shoulders instead, doing a lot of swinging. Do not do it without bench. The way we perform here, make sure you use one bench and go keep your chest on the bench, lean forward, and then perform this exercise. It's very, very good exercise for your front delt. Andrew felt heavy, so he dropped the weight after. He has to go lighter. I usually try to go 1 or 2 seconds by holding the weight and put more tension on my delt. Things that can help you get bench stronger is your shoulders and also triceps. Lats does key works for your bench, but is not as crucial as your shoulders and your triceps. If you have a weak shoulders and tricep, forget about the bench press and forget about the OHP, overhead press. You need to build more power in your shoulders and triceps. You can also perform together, both hands, simultaneously, and that helps you get more blood flow. I'm trying to pump my bicep as well. Make sure go high reps. High volume for the delt is very crucial. Now we perform in triceps. As I said, the things that cause you get weakness is your shoulders, your triceps, and also back. Now after finishing your shoulders and laterals, now you perform side skull crusher triceps. Make sure the dumbbells landed right on the side of the ears, but keep that contraction and do not let your elbows to flare out. Bigger, stronger tricep, bigger push. And try not go too heavy on triceps because you already pushed too much and your triceps already sore and pumped. After bench press and shoulder press, your triceps is already have a lot of blood flow. And try to choose a dumbbells weight that you can manage between 10 to 12. My prefer is 15 reps. High volume for triceps is very crucial. And make sure control the weight on way down and explosive on way up. Oh, by the way, when you perform this triceps, the skull crush, make sure lock your scapula bone and lock your shoulders at the bottom and push your sternum all the way up. And on way down, control and be explosive on way up. I have long arms. I have a little bit difficulty on this kind of exercises, but I have no choice. I have to train them. It is what it is. We usually do about 5 sets of side dumbbells for triceps. It's very good for you. As you see, I'm trying to lock my shoulders at the back when I perform this exercise. My shoulders, my arms, it's numb. At this point, I don't have any power, but I force myself. But next day, you feel more stronger. And make sure after train, get nice calories intake, and drink a lot of water because you get so dehydrated. Is in one of the excellent triceps. A lot of people prefer cables. It depends, but I don't feel more strong with the cables. I prefer with free weight dumbbells and easy bar because your triceps need to get more shock and tension in order to build up. It won't really build easily. Triceps is very tricky muscles. It's twitched muscles, and twitching muscles are not easily to build. You need to put a lot of tension on them. Control the weight all the way down and explosive the way up. Alright, next tricep will be skull crusher with easy bar. You choose a weight that you can manage and make sure the bar sit on your forehead. Do not go behind your head. A lot of people say you have to go behind the head, but if you go behind your head, you engage your shoulders and your lats. We don't want this to happen. We try to keep the weight a little bit lighter, but bring it all the way down to our forehead, above the eyebrows, and then push it back. Make sure control on the way down and explosive on the way up. Skull crusher with easy bar, it's very crucial. You should perform this exercise. Again, try not go heavy, because the way we perform, you won't be able to perform even 40 or 50 pounds or 15 kg, because at this point the bar will land it on your forehead. So you need a lot of control on the way down and be very explosive on the way up when you're pushing it way away from you. This is a very good exercise for outer triceps. With the dumbbells, we usually engage more inner triceps. Try always get a spot if you feel weak, but try to get high volume. Again, I said 12 to 15 is preferable. If you got some chalk, will be useful. I usually apply some chalk in my palms because your hand gonna sweat, so you have better grips. Make sure anchor your feet on the floor, similar to the bench press, and lock your elbows in. Do not let the elbow flare out. So the triceps is very crucial for the bench press. If you don't have a good, strong, powerful tricep, forget about the bench. Work on your arms first. Stop doing a bench with the strong shoulders and arms, especially triceps. The biceps usually helps for pull, like a deadlift, barbell rows, shrugs, and so on. But the triceps is very crucial for your push. Make sure the bar come on your forehead. But control and squeeze your elbows in. Do not let it lock. Do not let flare out, and keep it locking. All right. The next exercise you have to perform will be your forearms. Remember, your forearm is very crucial for you holding on the bar and pushing the weight away from you. So get a pair of dumbbells and sit inside a bench, and then try to perform 10 to 15 for every forearms, and then try to hold and do 5, 5, 5. So my point means hold one dumbbells and then perform 5 another forearms, and then switch to another forearms. Let your forearm burns. At this point, your hands is numb. I bet you have no more strength left. After performing all those training, you basically have no more blood flow left, and the pain threshold is passed. At this point, I'm burning like a hell. So I'm trying to get about 30 to 40 reps for every forearms. So again, make sure perform 5-5-5 means every forearm perform 5 and hold the dumbbells in other hand. So you alternate it. So with alternative forearm press, you get more blood flow to your forearms, and your extensors, it get fired. We usually do about 4 sets of forearms as well. Andrew's forearms burn, and he feels numb right now. Now I'm going a little bit heavier. Try to shock my forearm with the heavier dumbbells. I get about 8 to 10s with the heavy dumbbells. And then I will drop set it with flexors overhand, which is about 10 pounds. But at this point, your forearm is very weak and very numb, but you gotta perform this exercise. You need a strong forearms in order to push. So your bench press can rely on your hands. If you have a weak hand, weak grips, forget about the bench. So perform forearms as well, okay? And make sure to drop sit until you get a lot of blood flow, and you don't be able to move your hands at the end of workout. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully that helps you to get stronger bench, and try to perform this exercise at least 2 times per week. And I bet you in less than 6 weeks, you will get stronger up to 20 pounds. And if you continue to do so, you perhaps by 6 months, you can increase your bench up to 50 pounds. And in reality, if you're a natty, it works for you this way. But if you try to go with TRT or juice, which is shortcut, you may get injuries. So this video is for the natty people, and I suggest you to do this exercise, and perhaps you will get better result. And hope this video give you that motivation and encouragement and tips to improve your bench. Thanks for watching. Make sure to smash the subscribe, like button, and leave a comment.